Welcome back to WIS News Primetime. With college students returning to campus or going for the first time, there's plenty of fun to have and freedom to experience. But staying safe and aware needs to remain top of mind during this time of year.
The beginning of the fall semester until Thanksgiving is known as the red zone, a time when sexual assaults on U.S. college campuses spike. Here in the Midlands, many advocates are making sure that students are staying alert and aware. And here to tell us more are Rebecca Lorick as well as Ashley Quirk. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, certainly something top of mind. We just did a story, a follow-up to what happened in 2019, of course, on campus at USC with Samantha Josephson. Just such a tragic case. Shows what can happen this time of year, but this time of year especially is important with new people on campus.
Absolutely. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the red zone. What is that time? Why is it so dangerous? Give us a little insight into what that is.
Yeah, I can start with that. And so it's during that time of year when a lot of students are returning or coming to campus for the first time. They're experiencing new social circles, as well as not everyone has the same consent education, and so figuring out what kind of is going on for them at this time.
Yeah. Rebecca, talk about just some of the resources that you offer, or at least the messages that you're trying to get across to new students on campus.
Right, definitely. So Pathways to Healing is a nonprofit. We serve 5 counties, and one of the most important things that we do is educate people. We go into schools, even K through 12, and also on college campuses. In fact, we went recently to Newberry College and educated all of their student athletes about consent. What is consent? Who can consent, and just doing lots of education and awareness, but not just education about consent, but what resources are available. And what we do is we offer crisis services 24/7, a hotline, hospital accompaniments, and then clinical counseling for people who are ready after an assault or after being impacted by sexual assault to process that trauma. So we're there for people. All of our services are free of charge, and we're there to help the community, help victims after the fact, but also be proactive and teach people all about consent, healthy relationships, and healthy boundaries.
Yeah, important resources to have, especially during this time with a lot of freshmen coming in, and not just freshmen, but they're students of all ages coming in and experiencing the college for the first time, and there's a lot of unknown that comes with that. But is this a trend that we are seeing get worse or get better?
I think that it really depends. I think it's something that's pretty prevalent that keeps happening. We've seen it kind of spike over the years and see what's kind of going on. I think between our 2 organizations, being able to educate students can sometimes help and provide that clarity as to what's going on for them.
Yeah, for parents in a situation like this, what are the type of conversations that we should be having with our kids in regard to this?
Yeah, so it's so important to start talking with your kids even at age 3 in an age-appropriate way about consent. We talk to little ones about this is your body, and if you don't want to give somebody a hug, you don't have to give somebody a hug. So it's building, having those building blocks at a very early age, and for parents to be able to teach those things and to teach that child that that's their body and they deserve to be respected and they have a voice of their own is critical.
It really is, and I think also for maybe friends or people, classmates, whatever it is, maybe people you come in contact with, there are really small things that you can do that can help prevent something from happening, and being an active bystander. Can you talk to me a little bit about what that means and how that can potentially help save a life?
Absolutely. So on our campus, we talk a lot about bystander intervention, about how do you recognize an unsafe situation, a harmful situation, how do you decide what you're going to do to intervene, and then how you're going to support that person after the fact. So we give our resources the ability to know what's going on for somebody and how do you safely do so.
Yeah, what would you say are some of the barriers from people coming forward in a situation like this? Obviously there's a lot of fear, sometimes trauma on top of that. What would you tell to people who maybe are victims of this to encourage them to seek help?
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head. Number 1, fear. People are afraid. They don't know how people are going to receive them, how receptive they're going to be, or how they're going to be treated. So people who are afraid, we want them to call our hotline. We're there. We have trained professionals on that phone to be able to respond, and of course they do at USC as well. So there are people out there to help, and we understand that there's so much fear and there are so many barriers to reporting, but we're here to help, and we truly understand the issue and are trained to really help people through that crisis and beyond that crisis.
Absolutely. We have those hotline numbers on your screen right now. And finally, I just want to ask, what's your message for students going back to school? Obviously, you don't want to live in fear, but you do want to be aware. What's your message to those students?
Absolutely. Trust your gut instinct, kind of be aware of what's going on, check in on your friends, check in for yourself, and make sure that if you or someone you know needs something, reach out to the proper resources on campus and off.
Well, thank y'all so much for being here and speaking with us about this really important topic. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let's send things over to Chief Meteorologist Adam Clark with a look at the forecast. Hey, Adam.